and hang tight and let the suspense come. Just let the suspense build up.
Yeah, I
It's going to be a
got you.
fun ride. It's going to be an
I got
interesting ride. I tell you that.
you. I got you. Send me all the links, brother. I'm here for it.
Absolutely, man. Some people that have only played checkers their whole life, while they had the chess master working the whole board for them the whole time.
Yeah.
And when the chess master
So,
leaves, whenever the chess master leaves, you don't try to walk up with your checker chips, and say, "Hey,
yeah.
here's my checkers. I want to play you in chess."
So, yeah. For sure, for sure. I see you growing the hair out, the beard out, looking good, brother. Fresh as hell.
Appreciate that, dog. Appreciate that. I
Yeah.
got a fresh cut today. You know what I mean? Lined
I
up.
feel you, dog. I need one. I'm going to get one tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
But we went ahead and started recording. Thanks everybody for listening to another episode of the Jay Youngblood Experience. Today I have with me the one, the only, Shawn Brooks. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, brother? Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. We got some big things going on. I have a big interview this Saturday with I can't really give it away just yet, but huge company that's coming to Augusta, kind of already in Augusta, but we want to talk about that later on Saturday. I'm also going to have Brad Ferguson on very soon, so he's going to be on with us, and he's going to be talking some stories. He's going to talk with us. And this weekend, my mom and dad will also be on, so we're going to be talking about some stories and how the hell they raised 12 kids together is beyond me. But today we have Shawn Brooks, man. How's the boxing going?
Good, man. Good.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, what do you mean by when you say boxing? That's what
The
I don't
boxing
even.
club, out in
Oh
Thomson.
yeah.
You know that, brother.
Yeah. That shut down.
It shut down.
Yeah.
What happened?
Shit, man. I mean, forking out $3,500 out of my pocket each month. What happened for 7 months straight with only covering about $400 a month bills? And I'm like, I tried telling a certain someone the whole time, hey, we need to shut this thing down 2 months, 3 months prior. Hey, we need to shut this thing down. I'm telling you, I can see it. It's not getting any better. Once again, some people just wasn't meant for business. You know what I mean? And,
Understood.
And I had the carriage in front of the horse, leading the horse, I guess.
Yeah.
And
No, I get you.
Yeah, but hey, I tell you what, the horse has been back pulling the carriage now, and life has gotten 10 times better. That's for sure.
Yeah. Explain that to me. What's been going on?
Oh man, well, it's kind of some things I can't really say because of certain situations coming up. But like I said, I was trying to make sure I choose my words correctly. I was put out for the most part, sleeping in my truck, and I had to go and I did what I do. Like I wasn't on Facebook. Poor pitiful me. Like I don't need that attention. I don't need that kind of attention. I want to have a positive attention around me, and I knew what I needed, and I knew my goals. I knew what I could do. I've done it several times in the past when I got my back up against the wall. And I'm the type of person that if I feel like I need to prove something, like if I've got something to prove, I don't lose. I do not lose. So I had something to prove. I've proved that already. It took me about a month and a half to get my feet back up under me. And and as soon as I do, there's hands being held out. I need this. But that wasn't a problem because I'm a man and I want to make sure my kids are taken care of. And so I did that. But now we're past that point now. I'm not really stressing on it. My babies are taken care of. I make sure that I bought everything. I've got everything they need at both our houses. So like, I've done that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm tired of sitting back letting everybody else beat their chest and take credit. My kids are gonna look back and say I made it happen. I'm pretty sure they're gonna look back and see who made it happen.
For sure.
On both sides of the aisle. It's just, I'm a quiet person when it comes to my relations, my family. I'm real quiet about it. I've always been real quiet about it. But what I'm not going to do is like every other dude, just sit back and just take hits after hits after hits because we genetically don't care. We genetically, like we as men, we don't really have too much of a concern about what 20 other friends of a friend think about us. We don't
Oh,
have time to think
absolutely.
about that because we're too busy out hustling. So we
Yeah.
don't have time to think about that or worry about that. But I promise you this much: if there's ever been the truth told, I promise you, uh, I'll fight to the end for mine. And
Absolutely.
I've already thought 6 months out ahead of it. Uh, so uh, I've got goals in every dynamic, whether it be family life or whether it be work life. I've already got goals. I've got goals being set, and I've got some that's already been met. So we're gonna keep that
Yeah.
rocking and rolling and enjoying ourselves. I'm sorry if you can you hear a cricket
Yeah, you good.
and
I
a
hear the
chicken.
rooster too.
Look, hold on, let me show you.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I gotta at least show the people this. All right, so this is my mom has two of these chicken houses, and I didn't want to sit in the house because the kids are in there and being loud and whatnot. So this is like the crates and all. Check this out. I'm gonna show you what 15,000 chickens look like.
Fucking
Oh
hell.
dang, there ain't really many in here. I guess they didn't come and pick some of them up,
I got you.
or is they in there laying? Hold on, let me see. Oh, okay. Can you see that dirty ass window?
Yeah.
They're
There
all the
they
way
are.
down both sides.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I guess they decide to lay eggs at night. I don't know. But anyway,
Your parents got eggs for days, brother. Golly.
oh yeah. I mean, I'm literally using an egg to prop my phone up right now. For real.
But it's funny you mentioned how men are wired because we are wired a lot differently from women, contrary to popular belief. What's actually out there, but I think men, for the most part, we internalize things and we just okay. It's time to put the head down. Time to get to work. Basically, is
Yeah,
what we do.
yeah. I mean, as men, we're the leaders, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just what we're wired to be. I'm not saying women can't be leaders. I'm just saying we're wired to be providers,
Yeah.
and and that's leading the ship. So we really don't have time to sit and argue with a deckhand. Whenever we're saying, "Hey, there's an iceberg up there. There's an
Yeah.
iceberg up there. I see it. I want to take the steering wheel this way." No, I think we should turn it this way. Then you hit the iceberg. But and then you don't have enough boats to get everybody out of the water, Titanic style, and that's just what happened.
Yeah. So.
But it's all good now though. I'm back to running my own thing again, and the same people that was telling me to go get a real job has their hand out begging for money on the weekly basis. I got get a real job, but the same people beg me for money like I'm Elon Musk or something.
Shit,
You
I
know,
wish I had his money, bro.
it's just I'm exhausted with it,
I
but
get it, brother.
I'm just getting warmed up though.
Yeah.
So I mean, anytime anybody's ever thought they had me down, they found out a whole lot different on down
Oh,
the
for
road.
sure.
Sometimes I give you the rope. You know what I mean? Sometimes I will give you the rope.
You cut out on me, brother. You cut out on me. You hear me? You cut out on me, brother. Word.
All right, hear me?
There we go. That's fine. You
I
good?
was, I,
Yeah.
I, yeah, I was receiving an incoming phone call, so I'm sorry about that.
No,
I
you
should
good,
have put
brother.
my
You
phone
good.
on do not disturb or something. I don't really know how to work my phone like that, so I guess do not disturb would work.
I got you. No worries.
But yeah,
But yes, don't you have you working for a window company or something like that now, or you own your own company? What's that going about?
no home company, All American Home
Own
Improvements.
company? Yeah.
I've had business since 2016. Built it up, done really well. Had a bad heart issue happen because of the stress. The doctor said it was stress related. Left, went to Nashville, done my thing there, selling timeshares. Went down to Orlando. Pandemic hit. Had to come back home. Decided to start doing timeshare gigs, the opposite, and done it for 3 years. and decided to come off the road so I can be home with my family and open up a boxing gym, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Literally.
What was your feelings like whenever you had to close shop on that? Was it a relief, or is that something you actually strived, like that's something you wanted for a while?
Man, I think I had. That was the thing, is me and the other person had a different feeling of it. And I mean, I get not wanting to fail in front of everyone. I mean, trust me, nobody wants to fail. I sure don't.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to let. I'm not okay with running my family and my kids eating ramen noodles, having to borrow money just to say I didn't fail, just to say
Yeah.
okay, you know. And that's just always been me. I knew it was coming. I could feel it. I could see it. I mean, after 4 months, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
I'm not, like I said, I wasn't willing to throw it all away, and or to turn out, that's what happened. I turned right and hit the iceberg. I went with the deckhand's opinion, and just like every other time before, it went exactly how I said it would. But I guess I just didn't have the the energy to deal with. I guess you could call it the wrath afterwards. So
Yeah,
I just
for
went
sure.
along with it. But that won't ever happen again, ever.
Yeah. Was it a
But
problem with just not getting people in the boxing gym? Was it rent? What do you think it was?
Thomson wasn't ready.
Yeah.
They just wasn't ready for it. I mean, you've got some of the best athletes in the area in Thomson, and some of the most aggressive. But it, it really, the kids. I mean, they're just not built like they used to be. You find a few of them diamonds in the rough, you're
Yeah.
doing good. And Thomson just wasn't ready for it. I mean, a lot of these kids. I mean, nobody likes getting hit. I mean, you don't enjoy getting hit, but it was just getting the parents to get the kids there was tough. You find out a lot about people whenever you own a business that includes people in it, like
Yeah.
customers and everything. But yeah, but
You
it's
think the
all
kids
good.
were just soft? They're iPad kids, and they didn't want to. You had a very few of them that actually wanted to get out there and train.
That's about right. I mean, I had quite a few. I say quite a few. I mean, just to tell you how bad it was, my quite a few is about 5 kids that was solid, you know, and then the rest. I mean, they'll come once every couple of weeks, and they just died off or they didn't come at all.
Yeah.
I can't say it's because they're soft. I don't know their problems at home. Who am
Yeah.
I to judge? But I just know it wasn't working for me in a business standpoint to
Yeah.
keep pouring that money in, and then eventually, just like I saw it, it all came to a head. But I don't regret trying to at least say I tried it.
Yeah.
And I lost heavy baggage that I realize now that was holding me down, in a sense, because it I thought I would, I would never, what I was told, nobody will ever love you or love you like me. Nobody ever like you. You won't find anybody like me, all this other stuff. And then you find out that was that was not true. And people know good people when they see them, when they meet them. And I've never faked anything in front of anybody. What you see is what you get. I'm the same person. I talk to you the same way I'll talk to the trash man when he picks up the trash.
Yeah.
I treat, I
Absolutely.
treat I treat everybody the same. Period. Until you give me a reason not to. And a lot of the times I've gotten so reserved over the years that I'll let you get away with a pretty good bit. I'll just keep quiet, keep quiet, and then eventually I'll put a stop to it. And that's just. And like I said, it was. I hadn't felt this good in years. I hadn't felt this healthy, and for one, but my mental health.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. It really is. My mental health is so much better than it was, and and like I said, when somebody tells you something so many times, you start to believe it. And so, I started getting all, I guess you'd call it depressed or what, feeling sorry for poor, pitiful me, and started drinking real heavy. I felt great when I was drinking. It's just the next morning I'd wake up and the same problem still be there waiting on me. And by that time it already added a whole new problem to it now. Then you give people, then you give people excuses or reasons for this or that or the third. But, like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into it because
Yeah.
when I say I could write a book with receipts to prove the book,
With
I can
receipts,
write.
baby.
I got them. But like I said, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to give too much energy to that situation because I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I don't want anybody to think that I you know care about that situation.
Yeah. No, I get
Um,
you.
I cared about that situation for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I started realizing something was different. I started realizing I was happy again. I started realizing I was talking to people. I had my personality back, and I was like, well, this was nice. This is actually perfect. So my kids are happy when they're with me. I don't know. I don't ask any questions about at home. About when they're at their moms, I don't ask them any questions. It's none of my business. I trust her to handle them with care. Um, like I said, I'm just I'm enjoying my time. This is my time to shine, buddy. I feel it in my
Yeah.
heart. I feel it in my heart. I'm fighting again in November.
You're
Um,
fighting.
yes, sir.
My guy's fighting again. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I am.
Let's fucking
I am,
go.
brother. I am, brother.
So what
Um,
made you do that?
at first, it was to help me lose weight because I didn't think anybody would want me because I was 300 something pounds, and I was already told that so many times it didn't even matter anyway. But
Yeah.
um, so I was like, no, and I was wrong. I was like, so now it changed me to want to lose weight. To the weight's going to come off regardless. I wanted to fight at first because I wanted to inflict the pain that I was feeling onto someone else. I wanted them to feel everything that I've had to deal with over the years. And I was like, well, you know, I'm back into it now for the same reason that I started when I was younger, which is the proper reason. You know, I want to be the best at my craft. I want to know that I beat a man in front of me that's trained as hard as me and had the mindset that I had to a degree. Because I haven't met too many people that have the same mindset I have going into a fight. Um, I love it. I get real nervous. I get real nervous before the fights. And then it's like the ring walk, I'll have cotton mouth by the time I get to the ring. I have to drink water as soon as I get in. I have cotton mouth. And then once they play the other guy's music or the guys standing in front of me, then I look at it and I'm like, I feel sorry for you, buddy. It's gonna be a long ride. Win or lose.
It's gonna be a long ride for you,
Win.
bro.
Absolutely. Whether it's win or lose, it's gonna be a rough ride for you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
November's not that far away either. Where are you
No,
fighting at? I mean, do you know who you're fighting?
I'm training down at Grubel's. Um, got a good camp going down there. I've got I there hasn't been an opponent set yet. But finding those are easy. Finding an opponent's easy. It's not hard. I
Yeah.
mean, heck, they don't even like the boxing matches at Augusta Boxing Club and they host those. They don't start putting the fighters together or doing the matchmaking until like 2 weeks or a week prior.
Yeah.
So I don't need to know 3 months out who I'm fighting. This is amateur. It's not pro. So I don't need to know who I'm fighting to get set for this one particular individual. Have a, you know, the my whole motto has always been: if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So I'm
Absolutely.
I, I'm not going to have to get ready. That's for sure. Or I'm not where I want to be. I'm turning pro. I'm gonna fight. Here's the plan laid out for me: is to fight 3 amateur fights. By that time, I'll have my CAT scan, a second opinion on my CAT scan done. If that comes back as they cleared me, then I'll turn pro. But by that time, I'll be at 205. That's where I need to be is 205.
Okay.
Because I got good height on me for 205. I'm not the shortest by no means, and I mean, but I'm fighting heavyweight the first 3 fights, amateur anyway.
Have you set? It's going to be. So what date is that? It's going to be a weekend. Is it going to be during the week?
It's gonna. You mean my fight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it'll definitely be on a Saturday.
Saturday. Fucking
Yep.
right, bro. I'm where it's going to
Because
be
my
at.
back my back used to hurt me all the time, and my back doesn't hurt at all anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm just feeling better. You know, I go out there, I go to work, I go train, I do my thing. I'm much more, you know, like even like I took the kids last night at the football practice. I wanted to, you know, because I want them to eat a healthy breakfast with me. Like I'm tired of them eating junk. That's all they've ever ate their whole life, and I'm not too lazy to get up in the mornings with them beforehand or go get up 30 minutes earlier and start cooking them breakfast. So I've got them some healthy stuff: turkey, bacon, you know, eggs. I cooked them steak last night, cut it up. I had the steak already cut up and waiting on them in the morning, so I heated it up. Had them, you know, I had them a decent little breakfast this morning. They
Yeah.
loved it, and so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the same thing again in the morning. You know, I just didn't feel like driving. I live out in Lincoln, and man, it's like 45 minutes from the school. So a lot of the times, if I'm around on this side of the town anyway, I'll just swing by my mom's house and you know, the kids love coming out here. As soon as we got out here, they hopped on the four wheelers and ran and rode four wheelers, and so it's not bad. I just don't want to drive another hour. I want to drive an hour back home. I just think
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Now, are you
because
feeling? Go ahead.
yesterday, let me tell you how my day went. This is how wild this is. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but this is going to put it to perspective for you. Yesterday, I got the boys ready. Right, got them in the truck. I took them to school. 45 minutes. Got them to school. Then I had to turn around and drive to Thomson. Now, my boys go to school in Augusta.
Yeah.
So I turn around then, drive to Thomson, get my work trailer, pick up my guy that helps me, take him with me to Augusta, put in these windows. Got the windows put in time to go get my kids back from school again. So I went and got my kids from school, right? After that, I took my help home, dropped my trailer off in Thomson, then had to get my son ready for football practice for 6 o'clock football practice. Had to get him dressed almost immediately when we got there, and for football had to turn around, drive back to Augusta, take him to football practice, then go to Walmart to get the stuff so I can cook him breakfast and get stuff like that, and then drive back out to the lake. So, man, you're talking. It was. I mean, I like the challenge. I'm actually enjoying it, but it just gives you an idea of how much is going on behind the scenes. Um, but you know, I've got a few things in the works.
Yeah.
I'm not going to elaborate, but I got some things in the works.
A lot of
Just
gas money,
a
bro.
lot of things to make a lot of things better. Yeah, gas money. Yeah, yeah,
Shit. So tell me
money.
this: now that you're back training, do you feel like you used to feel whenever you first got into the gym, whenever you were younger, in your
No.
20s, when you feel this not the same as in not, but like the excitement and stuff like that? Do you feel it just
Oh
the
yeah.
same when it
Oh
comes to
yeah.
excitement and stuff?
Yeah. You know, I got something to prove too. You know,
Yeah.
hey, old man can still get with it. You
Yeah.
know, like I said, I just turned 36 last week, and I think it was last Sunday, and but I'm feeling better at 36 than I felt at 28. So realistically, I mean, if you're looking at the UFC fighters, I mean, heck, those guys are in their high 30s, early 40s. The guys fighting for championships and everything else. So I still have a little time on me. I've
John
just
Jones is 37. McGregor's 36. Alex Pereira's 36.
even
I
in boxing,
mean,
Tyson Fury, me and him was born like 2 days apart.
yeah.
So you know, you start looking at it, and you're like, you know, why am I? You know, I guess I kind of forgot about myself in a way. You know, I mean, I've always been head down, make sure I provide for my kids, my family, my wife, whatever, and I really just didn't take care of myself. I just let go of myself,
Yeah.
and the way it's set up in this situation with us, I do get the time to myself to love myself too. So I've nobody loves Shawn as much as Shawn. I can tell you that. But no, I'm I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
excited for you,
excited.
brother.
I'm a lot more experienced and I'm a lot smarter now than I was at a certain point.
Yeah.
I'm a lot smarter. Um, I'm a better fighter than I was, and I wasn't a bad fighter then.
Oh,
So
I heard stories, brother. I heard stories. I promise, I've heard them.
yeah, well, um, yeah. I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm ready
Yeah.
for it. My son always said he wanted to see me fight. He asked me, "Dad, did you really used to fight?" And I started laughing, and I said, "Yeah, son, your daddy did." He said, "Well, I ain't never seen no videos." Well, I don't have any, son. Like, I really don't. I have one, and I mean, it's not really good. For some reason, I guess nobody in my crew decided, hey, it's a good idea to film this. Like,
Yeah.
dang, y'all didn't think I was going to lose, did you? You know what I mean?
Depending on where it's at, what time it is, I would love to come watch that fight for sure. That sounds like it would be fucking exciting.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be exciting. I promise you this, it's not going past the first round. We're going to get out of there one way or the other. We're
Yeah.
getting out of there in the first round, guaranteed. The first 2 minutes is going to be electric, and then if I
Yeah.
can't put him out in the first minute and a half to 2 minutes, then I'm gonna back, and then just pick him apart from the
Yeah.
outside anyway. But
That's what a lot of boxing is nowadays. They go from a more you don't see a lot of the like the Tysons, like the Holyfields anymore. It's more strategy. They're gonna fill out the first couple rounds. But
I ain't.
I would love to get in there and you're just fucking brawling. I want to see
Yeah,
left,
I'm not.
right, left, right.
There's one thing about Shawn. I mean, Shawn don't do the filling out process. I don't have time for the filling out process because I know my opponent is expecting a filling out process. Well, if I start him off uncomfortable,
Yeah.
a mistake can be made. I mean, you look at Derek Lewis. That's what he does. You don't
Oh,
get a
for
filling
sure.
out process,
Hell no.
and he holds the record for most knockouts in UFC history.
Absolutely.
So I'm not. I mean, I've never been a fighter to sit back and wait. I've always been the one, and I don't. I'm not just barely coming to you. You know I'm coming. I'm letting you know I'm
Yeah.
coming. But with my boxing background, my head movement's so good, my footwork is so good that the typical MMA guy that just does a different style of training for kickbox or Muay Thai or whatever, they're going to be a kind of, as long as I'm keeping that pressure on them and not letting them get crazy with the kicks, I'll be okay.
Oh shit, so this is gonna be kickboxing.
MMA in the
Oh,
cage.
this is an MMA fight. Fucking right, son. Okay. That's even better. Fucking right.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought it was gonna be like just a boxing match, but this is full course. Okay, fuck yeah. Hell
yeah.
yeah.
No, I really want to get down in the trenches, so to
Yeah,
speak. I want to be able to
absolutely.
get my core right. I want to get my jiu-jitsu right. I want to get my kickboxing right. I mean, I want to make sure that I'm solid everywhere there is, head to toe, not just because everybody says, "Well, yeah, I know you're a boxer, but when I get you on the ground, it's like it's almost like the jiu-jitsu guys automatically assume that they're going to get you on the ground."
Yeah, for sure.
I never had one that got me on the ground. I never had a jiu-jitsu guy take me to the ground. I had him try, and I stuffed the takedowns, and then I knocked him out. I've had that happen several times, but I never ever had. Not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying they act like it's just an easy thing. I had a guy tell me one time he was in my corner. This man cornered me in a boxing match, and he was a jiu-jitsu guy. It was a boxing match. I knocked this guy out. We come out. We fought. It was down in Macon, Georgia. I come out. I jab. He ducked his head. I fake a jab, shoot an uppercut, and he ducked his head right into it as pretty as you can please. And it locked him up, knocked him out right there. I mean, the fight, I think, with the 10 count, it was like 18 seconds, 19 seconds with the 10 count. And so after that, me and the same guy was on vacation, and we're in the pool, and he done had a few drinks. I done had a few drinks, and he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I'm telling you, Shawn, I don't know where it come from either. I'm telling you, Shawn, He said, man, I would destroy you. I said, you do what? Man, that's crazy. Why can't we just listen to the reggae music, man? We're in St. Thomas right now.
It's time. It's time to get in the pool and get active. That's what he's about to say.
nah, no, I wouldn't do that because I
Yeah.
respected him too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just tell you, it was my ex father-in-law, and but I respected him. He was a good man. He is a good man. Put it
Yeah.
be that way. I learned I learned a lot from him, specifically, but about keeping your composure and don't be acting so damn crazy. But um, but anyway, I said, okay, if you say so, bud, but I promise you it won't go that way. He says, well, I know you have hands of thunder, but it's like, I know you got hands of thunder because I've seen it. He said, but I'm going to walk right through those punches and I'm going to get you on the ground. And when I do, you're all mine. I said, you just said I have hands of thunder. You've seen
And
it.
you gonna walk through them?
And you're going to walk through my punches? I said, I'm
That's a
telling
lot
you right
easier.
now.
That's easier said
Yeah.
than done for sure.
Yeah. I said, sir, if that's your game plan to walk through my punches, you've already lost. The fight
Absolutely.
started. The fight.
You're not walking through that.
Nobody needs to walk through my punches. Period. That's crazy talk. I would never let me hit me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna walk through your punches. Just
You
go
ain't
ahead
walking
and
through
take
that
your
shit.
pallet. Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, there's
Bad.
some guys out there who, like Mighty Mouse, who I think at any weight could probably get somebody's back and take them, probably, depending on who it is, obviously. But when you're talking about heavyweights,
But let's
if
talk
we're
about.
all being,
But we're not talking about jiu-jitsu, Naga
yeah,
tournaments, nothing like that. We're
we're
talking.
talking about boxing, yeah.
Now you start. Yeah, I saw where he's good at it and big guys and all this, but you let that big guy start being able to rain down hammer fists, you have
Yeah,
a different ball game.
absolutely.
He'll take one or two hammer fists and Mighty Mouse's head will look flat.
Oh, absolutely. I'm talking about if he's able to get your back. He's fast and he's small. He's feeble, so he's light on his feet. So if he was going to get somebody like Derek Lewis, like if Derek Lewis gets him, it's over, right? But if he's able to get Derek Lewis in, his neck, you know what I mean? It all depends.
Sir, he has zero chance.
You think so?
Yeah.
At the
I don't
weight, are
care
you
how good
Mighty
he is.
Mouse?
Yeah, but he's also getting punched in the face. You got to understand this. Derek Lewis knocks out men my size and bigger.
Yeah,
With one
I understand
punch,
that. Yeah.
out, they're snoring, they're locked out. They could be the best at what they do. They could be the best at jiu-jitsu at what they do as big men. And there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do to withstand that. Mighty Mouse doesn't have a prayer. He doesn't. He's not big enough. They make weight classes for a reason.
Fair enough. But yeah, when we're coming from that situation, yes. Because with them being boxed in the cage, with them, yeah. Because I remember Bradley Martin was talking to Nate Diaz. Bradley Martin's like 260. You know who Bradley Martin is?
Oh yeah, I've seen. He
He said I'm 260, bro. He said I'm 260.
I'm 260.
Nate Diaz was
somebody like Bradley Martin,
yeah,
Mighty Mouse all day long.
absolutely. That's what I was trying to get at.
Fighter?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Because Nate Diaz was talking to me, he's like, "Listen, bro, I don't give a fuck how big you are. It's over. It's over.
You're a podcaster, brother.
Yeah,
like just chill."
He could barely get the words out too, because Nate Diaz, he's punch drunk as fuck. But he was like, "Listen, brother, I knock you. Listen, I get you."
Yeah.
But I guess that was more what I was pertaining to. I guess not exactly. If it was a street fight and you had someone like Bradley Martin, who's this huge guy, but he has no background of any type of MMA, people like Mighty Mouse, who's 145, 150, I think would easily take care of what he needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. It's just in my head I'm thinking about every different scenario. You put him in a phone booth together, he's gonna have a problem. Might have a problem.
Yeah.
But
Luckily, they don't make those no more.
They need to bring them back out and do away
Yeah.
with these phones.
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't be able to talk. Then
Yeah.
we can't do a podcast to a phone booth.
But yeah, people like Bradley Martin is what bothers me whenever people talk about like fighting MMA. I'm like, bro, Mighty Mouse would tear your shit up, man. He would tear it up.
Oh yeah. Mighty Mouse is hell. You know, people like to disregard them small guys. I don't disregard them. I'm being realistic on size and Derek Lewis.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I've seen some small guys do some damage to some big guys before.
Brad Ferguson.
Yeah, and it's always, and here's what I learned early in, because I wasn't always this size either. I actually hit a growth spurt, Brad. I'll hear about that one later. No, but I wasn't always this size either. And where these guys went wrong was they always underestimated me. They wanted to come punk me out, get in my face to scare me.
Yeah.
And I would let them sit there, and they think they winning this whole thing. They punking me out, and the next thing you know, they asleep. So that's one thing I don't do. I mean, this was when I was 15. I was 15 years old fighting grown men.
Yeah.
That's my age now, and knocking them out. And the reason being is because not every 16-year-old has that mindset where they can be manipulated or controlled or talked to, or like you're not going to come scare up these kids. I mean, and even in today's world, they'll shoot you and kill you. So I'm not fooling with none of these young bucks. Hey, y'all have it. Y'all have it.
Y'all got it, bro.
You're gonna really have to come mess with me for me to get upset with you, because I'd rather
Yeah.
talk to your daddy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're a young cat. Go ahead and get your daddy. I ain't talking to you. Go get your pops, man.
Yeah.
Me and pops can handle it.
Me and Pop's gonna have a convo.
Yeah. Yeah. How have you been, brother? That's a good question.
Man, working, dog. Working. Over here at Mercedes in Athens. Just working, bro. That's it. Working, trying to hit the gym. Getting older, obviously not being in high school no more, having a full-time job. It's hard trying to get back in the gym. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, you slinging them cars, huh?
Trying, bro. It's slow right now. You know, with the economy, with the election coming up, it's kind of slow, but we're trying to get after it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I feel that. I feel that economy.
So, and I mean, they ain't hitting us with nothing for us to sell cars right now, especially Mercedes, because they're very high on their brand. So it's very hard to convince people. But luckily, you have those folks out there who are still able to buy Mercedes Benz and whatnot.
A lot of the times you'll find the people that complain about it when they're on the showroom floors because they done found out the price of it and they're scared. They don't want to tell you that they ain't got the money.
Luckily, out here in Athens, we have a lot of old money. Believe it or not, a lot of old money out. Yeah, a lot of old money out here. Yeah, we have a lot of people just come in. They're like, "Yeah, my wife wants this car." They trade cars out like iPhones, bro. They'll get a new one every year.
That's wild.
In Augusta, we had a lot of those folks who wanted to have a Mercedes, but really shouldn't have a Mercedes. Here, most of the people that come in, you know, if they want a Mercedes, most of the time they can get one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So tell people a little bit about how you started boxing, man. You and my brother Brad, y'all were amateur boxers at one time. How did that get into fruition?
Well, I grew up in a very rough neighborhood, man, and got beat up a lot as a kid. My dad would make me fight him, and I knew I was about to lose. These kids were older, bigger than me, and I knew I wasn't too good at fighting. And my dad, several times, he'd come home from work. We'd be out there in the middle of the road fighting. My dad would roll his window down and talk me through it, you know, like he was my corner man from the truck. This was once every other week at least. I didn't win many, but what I learned is I wouldn't let them know that it bothered me either. I talked the whole way through it too. They'd be winning, and I'm still talking. Let's go. What you waiting on? Let's go. And then eventually they started saying, okay, this cat right here, especially when they had to see me the next day. Because now I couldn't sleep that night thinking about it. I'm 10, 11 years old, laying there like, you know, I'm not going to let this be a habit. So I'd come back. We'd be playing football the next day. I'd just walk up to him and hit him. Bam. and he beat me up again. So I brought a lot of it on myself too.
Yeah.
But eventually, my dad told me, he said, someday, son, you're going to hit your growth spurt. He said, no, that's going to change. And he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying there. And I remember when I was a kid, I asked him, hey, can you take me to a boxing gym? I want to learn how to box. He said, son, Thomson don't have a boxing gym. So that's a big thing that inspired the boxing gym, bringing it to Thomson,
Yeah.
was to help kids like me that really needed it and keep them out of trouble. I needed that too. So, I went through school and I had a fight in the ninth grade, and I learned that if I got the first punch, I won because I had heavy hands even in ninth grade, which I was one of the smallest ones in my grade at the time. And I realized if I got the first punch, I won. So if I started feeling threatened by anybody, I would go ahead and hit them. And the problem with that is you start getting in trouble. Then when you turn 18 years old, you still got that kid mindset, and now your butt goes to jail. Now you got a record, and that mindset only makes you even worse. Now you're mad at everybody except for yourself for doing it. And then, so eventually, what happened was, when I was 17 years old, I just graduated high school. I graduated at 17. I graduated high school, and a guy that I knew real well that I grew up with, he worked for my dad the whole time I was a kid coming up. I watched him fight an MMA fight. How he got into it, I don't know. But I
Yeah.
remember him fighting. Shout out to Donnie. I was watching him fight, and I said, I want to do that. So my dad hooked us up, and he started taking me down to, it was called Augusta Martial Arts at the time, Rob Blandenberg and Josh Blandenberg, but I'm trying to think of what it's called now. Elite FC or something like that. It's
Yeah.
something like that. But started training down there. Had my first fight 2 weeks after my birthday. Because you had to be 18 or older to fight in the cage. So I had my first fight down in Huntsville, Alabama, and in the cage, won that one. I was fighting a guy that was 28 years old, had several fights under his belt, had a lot more experience than me. But once again, my stubbornness won that fight. He should have beat me. He should have beat me 3 times in that fight.
Yeah.
He had me. He had me in a guillotine one time, and I was starting to pass out. He had me in an ankle lock one time. I wasn't going to tap. You just break my ankle. That was my mindset. No kidding. So the last one, he had me in a knee bar, and my knee started cracking.
Oh
And I was
fuck.
like, well, here we go. I'm not tapping. So he let go. I guess he thought he didn't have it, and he definitely did. All he had to do was push his hips up. He didn't do that, but so I stood up and I was limping when I got up. But when I got up, the crowd went wild because I kept making him stand back up. Every time he'd get me in something, I'd make him stand back up, make him fight my fight. And back then, the crowd didn't care about jiu-jitsu. I mean, we're talking about 2006.
Yeah.
So the
People are just
people,
starting to give a fuck now.
yeah, people didn't care about the art of. All they saw was people just hugging on each other. And to be
Exactly.
honest, even now, I'm not interested in it. I don't. I mean, I understand how important it is to know, but nobody wants to sit here and watch a bunch of guys just grab each other's arms and lay there. I mean, at least ground and pound if you're gonna do that. Throw some punches while you're on top of him or something.
Yeah.
That's what people come to see. I don't care what anybody says. Period. So, anyway, made him get up. I'm limping. He gets up. I hit him with a beautiful 1-2, just pop, pop, and it dropped him. When it did, I just kept hitting him until the referee stopped it. And that was my first fight, first win. And I was addicted after that. My uncle passed away shortly thereafter, so I took a break from fighting and come back as a boxer instead. And boxing was solid for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I was just gifted at the boxing side because any of my matches, none of them, maybe 2 or 3 out of 26 matches went out of the second round. I know I had 16 knockouts in the first round, and this is in boxing, okay, with headgear. This is not professional boxing,
Yeah.
headgear on and all that. So, I didn't realize how good that was. I guess because like you go to these events now, you don't see that. I mean, I was at the Golden Gloves maybe 6 months ago with my son and stuff like that, and man, I'm watching these guys fight, and I may have saw 2 knockouts the whole time. These were some brutal knockouts, buddy. They were rough, but yeah, like I said, it was just I don't know a stream of good luck maybe. But I met Brad back whenever we were training, or when he fought my ex brother-in-law. They fought, and he put a whooping on him, and then so I had to come down there to avenge the loss. But that was the toughest avengement I ever had in my life.
Well, you and Brad?
Yes, yeah, Brad.
Walk me through that, brother. I haven't heard this story. I want to hear it.
So I remember now his version could be different. So we'll have to compare.
It always is, bro. It always is.
It's been almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I remember I got a phone call from one of the guys that worked out down there and said, "Man, Jason got a little whooping on him tonight." I said, "By who?" I said, "By some guy from Augusta or something." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah." They're like, "Shawn, we need you to handle this. We need you to avenge this." I said, "All right." I said, "Well, bring him on." So they made a phone call. Me and Brad, I'll never forget it. We didn't know each other, so we didn't speak. Brad was in the room, gloving up. I walked in the room, gloved up, never said a word to each other. The room was probably 10 by 10. 10 by 10, square room. And with OSB on the walls. That was our ring.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to go. There was nowhere for anybody to really go. Yeah. And I just remember we just started banging, and I didn't have good head movement then. I never worked on head movement at that point in my life, but he caught me with some good shots, and I wasn't expecting. I was like, "Dang, this dude hits hard." Eventually, what happened is I eventually turned the turbo on and had him up against the wall, and I was putting them hands on him. That's right, Brad. I was putting them hands on him. Brad couldn't go anywhere. Pop, 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 pop. And I don't remember how it ended. I mean, that was the end of it. I don't know if I stopped or if somebody broke it or stopped it or refed it or whatever. I avenged it, Brad. I avenged it, dog.
He gonna have something to say for sure.
I know, but I'm telling you, that made me respect smaller stature guys' punch though, because that joker hit like a tank.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
He hit like a heavyweight, and I was like, yeah, I ain't trying to get hit with those no more. He was fast too, But see,
Yeah.
back then I only weighed about 170 myself. So he was probably about 135. I would have to say. Brad couldn't have been much bigger than that. I mean, we're both bigger now than we were then by a landslide.
Yeah, his head probably took up most of his weight at that time.
But we ended up being good friends after that, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess it was a mutual respect, I reckon. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
definitely mutual respect, but I don't know if it was made that night or not. I'm sure it was.
How did that come about? After did y'all just like, hey, y'all just went to a couple parties together, y'all just hung out?
Yeah,
like
pretty much what happened. So they had these fights out there in Matthews, Georgia, they used to do called
Yeah.
Friday Night Fight Night or something like that. So we'd go out there as a collective little group, pretty much self-taught boxing guys that really don't know what they're doing, but they got good hands, right? That's basically what we started out as. And so we go out there and we clean house, man. It was one night. It was me, Chris Newsom.
Shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Chris, Brad, and Josh Thomas.
Yeah.
And so all of us went out there, and all of us fought, and all of us won. And then we fought several things like that. After that is whenever the break kind of happened. We had a good break. I started training in Macon, Georgia, under a real training coach. And that's when I got good. That's when I started having all these fights and what I'm talking about earlier. That's when a lot of things started changing. So I come back a few years later, and they had this tournament going on up in South Carolina. And me and Brad had talked about something. Me and him had been talking, and he's like, I was like, hey man, I was like, you need to fight in this thing. You know, I was like, man, we got a lightweight, you can be the middleweight, we got it, and I'm the heavyweight, man. We can go run the whole table on the whole group. And he's like, all right. So sure enough, he come down and we just started training together. I was teaching the stuff that I'd learned and stuff like that. And we had 2 lightweights, and then we had me, a heavyweight. So he had to fight. He ended up having to fight a guy from our own camp too. You probably know Keith.
Keith.
Howell.
I've
Got
met
glad.
so many. I've met so many fucking people through Brad. Man, it's insane.
You know, I tell you what's interesting about Keith. Keith come to me one night. I was training one night, and he showed up. I didn't know him, and Keith had a guy that was bullying on him. I don't think they were in school. He was probably 20, 21 maybe. But this guy was bullying on him, and Keith was a little guy, not much self confidence at all. And I was like, you let that dude do that? Because I've already handled this guy years ago in the past. And I was like, you let this dude, him? I was like, man, come on, man. You start training with me, man. Like, we're going to get you right. So I did. And he got pretty good, too. So him and Brad had to fight each other. They trained together. They sparred together, everything. But it came down to the semifinals. And it was, or was it the finals? It might have been the finals. I think they were in the finals together. And you know, everybody fights the first night. The losers go home. The winners all come back the second night and fight to the end. Last man standing wins the money. So the last 2 men in the lightweight division was Keith and Brad. And shoot, man, that was one of the best fights because Brad was putting the things on him at first, but Brad started getting tired. And I remember Brad's brother Brian was sitting there, was getting mad. He's like, playing with the dude. You're gonna get. I mean, it was. Brad started getting tired, and Keith didn't. So now, I mean, Brad won the first 2 rounds, but the second round, you could tell it's a good thing it wasn't the fourth because Brad was exhausted, straight exhausted. You gotta think, man, you're fighting 2 or 3 fights in one night, and for anybody that's never been in a boxing ring with boxing gloves on, fighting somebody else, the first couple times you do that, I mean, for the first 20 times you do that. There's just something that makes you tired faster. It's just a
cardio is crazy, man.
The best cardio you can possibly get is sparring. That way you can get used to it. But yeah, he was exhausted. But we had a good time after that. We left from Greenwood or either Lawrence, South Carolina. I think it was Lawrence, South Carolina. Left from there and went to Alley Cats, and I didn't really drink anything. I don't remember. I don't think I did. I think I was a little nervous because Brad and Blue and a couple other cats was getting a little stirred up with another group, and I was like,
sounds about right.
I was like, all right, we about to go to jail tonight.
Man, that whole squad had hands on him. Brian had hands on him. Blue had hands on him and dropping bombs, bro.
That's the difference is they wasn't scared.
Yeah.
It's all up here.
All them boys, man.
I'll tell you a guy that's never fought a day in his life, but he ain't scared. Genuinely not scared over somebody that could fight, but terrified. I don't want that.
Yeah. That whole squad. I know Brian had hands. Blue was just as big behemoth of a guy. He wasn't the best looking, but he had hands on him too.
I bought a wedding ring from Blue.
Yeah.
Years ago. Ended up throwing it out the back of a limo.
We named him Blue Dini one night because Brad was talking about how he would always disappear on the job site, so they called him Blue Dini. He showed up for the first 10 minutes and then disappear after that. No one knew where the fuck he was.
That's funny. Blue actually kind of reminded me a little bit of. You ever seen A Brother Where Art Thou?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Pete?
That's the movie with George Clooney, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
That guy played Pete. That's who he reminded me of when I first saw him.
Yeah. Just a lanky motherfucker with a weird face. I mean, but he could drop bombs.
Definitely.
He could drop bombs, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how I started hanging out with all of them is I was like 8 years old, and Brad would take me to the job site, and I just remember hanging out with a bunch of old folks, and I was like, damn, this is dope, bro. I want to be a part of this. Everybody be coming out. Because you're supposed to wear the face mask when you're spraying. But I remember Blue coming out. He had long hairs in his nose. And he had all that paint stuck up in there. Good times, brother. Good times.
Yeah, yeah, definitely good times. I can honestly say at that age, I didn't take advantage. I didn't waste my talents or nothing at those age.
Yeah.
I mean, I trained so hard. You know, my boxing career ended over a bad CAT scan, and that's what I was talking about earlier. And getting my second opinion 20 years later, or close to it. I say about 12 years later, actually.
Yeah.
But get my second opinion and making a run for it again. I got 4 years to dedicate. Once this roller coaster I'm on right now, I'm on a roller coaster right now of new things that I've got to deal
Yeah.
with here and there. But it will end soon. So once that gets ironed out, then I'll be able to 100% focus on that being my main goal. I mean, people's had crazier comebacks to happen.
Oh, for sure.
I'm delusional enough to believe I could do it.
I don't know if it's delusion, brother. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, what's his name? He fought until he won the belt in the UFC when he was 41 years old. I can't think of his name right now. What's that fucker's name? Old dude, he had a receding hairline and everything. He was like 41 years old, won light heavyweight. I don't know if it's delusion, brother. It's the fact that you have confidence in yourself still to this day at this age is something that people should look at and be like, "Oh, that's fucking dope." Because a lot of people they didn't want to go to their 9 to 5, come home, especially going through what you're going through. They'd give up and be like, "Nah, like I'm just gonna do my thing, go home, work my 9 to 5, and go about my life." You know what I mean? So the fact that you still have that fire, dog.
Listen, I lost that fire. Here's the thing: I didn't have that fire 4 months ago.
Yeah,
I You just get into a routine, and then eventually you feel like everything's falling apart. You can't control it. Poor pitiful me. The ones that
yeah,
you're supposed to have you back the most, the ones supposed to uplift you, beat you down, and then you start getting to where you believe all these crazy things that's being said to you, and you start believing it. I mean,
yeah,
it took my happiness away,
yeah,
but I got it back,
yeah.
and I'm feeling great again. Besides the fact that I've developed this cough over the last 30 minutes,
Yeah,
but
a lot of people don't realize the pain and whatnot that goes through a silent man whenever he's working to get what he needs to get and working on his goals for sure.
that's the best way I've heard it being put, to be honest.
Yeah,
But nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors, especially when a silent man don't speak. And I'm not trying to speak out on that. I'm just trying to say that it's crazy to me that I could be going through all of that stuff, and then 4 months earlier, and then 4 months later feel the way I feel now.
yeah.
And maybe it's having the right person in your corner. I know that has a lot to do with it. I know for a fact it does, and I feel amazing now.
It could be,
Happier
bro. It could.
than I've been in years.
What it could be is somebody put baby in the corner. You don't put baby in the corner, bro. Nobody puts baby in the corner, and you found
I've never
yourself in
had
that.
anybody refer to me as that.
Yeah, nobody put baby in the corner. Now you found yourself in the corner, and you're like, "Fuck that! It's time to get after it." Change causes change. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
when
hurt
change
people, hurt
comes,
people.
hurt people. But when change comes, I mean, what you needed was a change to make sure you were able to change who you are and become that person you want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's my time now.
Exactly.
It's my time. Make sure my babies are fed, clothed. Make sure my babies are going to school. Make sure I'm taking my babies on vacation, doing for my babies. But I'm also making sure that I'm taking care of me,
Yeah,
the one,
absolutely.
the one that has to be healthy, the
Yeah,
one that needs to be healthy, to make sure I can provide and take care of my kids, to make
yeah,
sure they're taken care of. I got to
absolutely.
start with me, and that's where it comes from. These kids are watching me. I don't want them to do what I've been doing the last probably, let's say, 6 years, drinking, eating whatever, getting all depressed, letting somebody else tell you this or that or the third.
Yeah,
I'm training my kids. As soon as they get on and start having girlfriends, the first sign of any kind of controlling, go,
yeah.
go. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do, son. You have one life to live. You
Live
have
it.
one life on this. You have one life on this earth to live, and I'll be damned if I'll let any other human being in this world tell me what I can and can't do.
Absolutely.
Period. Period. You don't have to keep a leash on me. I promise you. But when you put the leash on me is when you start having problems.
Absolutely.
If you let me just naturally be me, I promise you, Daddy ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Now, I can't speak on a 20-year-old Shawn. I did a lot of growing up, but a
Yeah.
36-year-old Shawn, I ain't going nowhere.
What's dope now is Junior and your other son get to see you fight. He had all those questions like, "Hey, did you actually fight Dad? Was you actually the
Yeah,
shit back in the day?" And now you get to prove like, "Hey, yeah, Dad
I'm
was the
going to.
shit."
I got
And
something to
then
prove on that note too.
and Daddy the shit right now too. Let me
Yeah,
show you.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've got a chip on my shoulder on that too. You know,
Absolutely.
for years, anytime, like even with sales, if somebody pissed me off with a smart comment at work, I would work as hard as I would focus on doing nothing but outwriting that person and putting them in their place. And
Absolutely.
I've done it every single time. Anytime it's ever happened, I've done it. And now in both situations I'm running into, I promise you, I'm working harder than I ever have. I'm thinking further ahead than I ever have. I'm smarter than I ever have been. I'm healthy mentally, physically. Um, I'm gonna be a tough one to beat. Just
Bro,
letting you
you
know,
you
I'm
just
gonna
hit
be
me
a
with
tough
that.
one to beat.
You just hit me with that Tim Tebow locker room talk, bro. You got my blood pumping. I'm ready to go. I might go in the street and knock out a homeless person. Now I'm ready to go.
I tell you what, I might have to put you in my corner in one of my fights one time.
Fucking right, bro. Fucking right. Listen, for real though, hit me with dates. Let me know when it's gonna be. I'll do my damnedest to come be there and come watch that fight for sure. Just let me know. Keep me updated on that, and I would love to fucking watch that fight for sure.
Bet.
Absolutely. I'll get my boy Brad out there. We'll go out there and watch for sure. And I appreciate you coming on today, bro. I really do. I appreciate having you
I
on. We
know.
got a lot of big things coming through.
I
And
know it's been a cat. I apologize for being a cat and mouse game, but when I
you
have my
good, brother.
kids, I
You good,
don't
bro.
I don't have much time regardless. So
You good, big dog. I appreciate you taking time out because we don't got a lot of it. So I appreciate you spending time with me today. We are already at an hour, bro. It feels like we only been on here like 10 minutes, but I
it
appreciate
really
having you
does.
on. I
I could do
really
this all
do.
night.
Absolutely. It won't be the last. It won't be the last. I'm gonna try. Whenever you get in the ring again, we're gonna have some after the fact, and you can talk about everything, and I can put some videos up that come with the podcast since we're back on YouTube now. And I'll put it on, big dog, for sure. We'll get crowds out there to watch. But like I said, I appreciate having you on, and with everything you're going through, bro, I wish you the absolute best.
I
Godspeed on
appreciate it.
all of that, man. And we always like to end with some positive advice, positive vibes. What do you got for the people out there that are listening right now?
Don't worry about anybody that. Yeah, bump that. Don't worry about what anybody tells you. Don't worry about what anybody tells you can or can't be. Don't let anybody tell you who you can or can't have, or who you can or will or won't be able to find. Don't worry. If somebody ever tells you that, go show them.
Absolutely.
I wish I would have done that. Please, if anybody ever tells you, if you got this narcissistic human in your life, anywhere in your life that you feel like is doing this, saying that, I'm not saying that's what I had to deal with, okay? I'm just saying if you ever have to run into that, right?
Yeah,
If you ever run into that situation, show them. Show them. Don't start
absolutely.
believing it. And if you start believing it, go ahead and wake up. Show them ahead of time. Don't give them any reason to be able to, oh, I'm a victim. No, don't give them that glory. Don't give them that little 2 weeks of glory they had until they realize the grass really isn't greener on the other side. Don't
Yeah,
give them that. Don't give them that. Be you 100%, and the right person will fall into your life. Because we're not all meant to be together. We're not all the same people. I can't deal with certain things that somebody else can't deal with. But if you are true and authentic to yourself, you're truly you, the right person eventually will come. The problem is, I know, guys, some people that we run into fake it for a little while. They laugh at your little jokes and all this for a little while, and then they change up. Or, they become themselves. Find one. I'm talking about put her through the ringer on everything that you make sure she understands what you want out of life, who you are as a person, what's your personality. Do you do laundry or are you not a laundry guy, right? Make sure all of this is already noted, okay? And the right person, there's someone out there for everybody, and I
absolutely.
truly believe that. I truly believe it, everything in me. I mean, trust me, show them. So with that being said, I just want to say this: um, thank you for having me on. I look forward to coming back on after I knock this chump out in November and coming
Absolutely.
back to smile like I know I could. And, like I said, everybody, just be you. Enjoy yourself. We only have one life to live. Don't live it under somebody's thumb. That's all I got.
Absolutely. Godspeed, bro. I'll be in touch. Keep me updated on when you're gonna fight, and I'll be there.
Yes, sir, Brad. This is for you.
Holla, bro.
All right, brother. Bye.